Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and Merry Christmas. This morning, since there was no Hungar show, I thought I'd get this video out early. I'm going to start reviewing the, 1990s TSR Hollow World box set. I've had this in my collection for a good long time, and I never read it until, well, last week. And in case you guys aren't familiar with it, let me just read the blurb on the back. Within the sphere of the known world is another world, the Hollow World. There your characters will meet ancient Nithians, long disappeared from the surface world and thought extinct. Blacklore elves, living in a magical valley and served by automatons, devices that take care of everything. From serving their food to trimming their grass. Azcans, terrifying warmongering natives whose taste for battle extends even into their favorite game. The losers always die. And many more. Monsters abound as well, from dinosaurs to aurochs. In the Hollow World, the sun never sets. Magic works differently than it does outside. Some spells don't work at all, and quite often getting in is much easier than getting out. Not a fan. Right off the bat, let's go over the contents of the box set, starting with the Player's Guide, which is the first book that I read, 38, 39, 34 pages. No, 61 pages. Wow, no wonder it took so long to get through, among other reasons, as I'll go over shortly. The adventure book, have not read it yet. I'm pretty sure I could crap out better in my sleep, just saying. And then the Dungeon Master's source book, which I started reading, and I will finish reading every bit of it, but well, let's get on to the other items in this box set, because had the pages and what was written on them been better, I would be giving this a glowing review. But, you know, it was sort of a product of its time. Here's one of the many maps inside. And it's got 2, 3, and 4 maps of the world, the Hollow World, Antarctic Cap, World Planetary Layers, and then local migration history, things like that. A lot of, you know, nice quality maps that I'll probably never use. Now, let's go on to the book that I did read, Player's Guide. I read this because I'm thinking, okay, if I was a player, you know, what would I find that would suck me into this? And what I found, mind you, this I believe this is supposed to be the Hollow World of Mystara. I could be wrong on that, but either way, I know it's not the Hollow World of Earth, but yet the Hollow World is basically Earth. It's as you can see from the cover, we've got a Aztec warrior there. I don't know how they, you know, went from Mystara to the Hollow World. You know, what, they portaled into Mystara, said, nah, we don't like it, we're going to go deeper. But that's the theme going through the entire game. Now, mind you, I totally ejected from my mind the fact that this is not AD&D. It's another version of Dungeons & Dragons, and I was, you know, familiar enough with the other, you know, versions, Beckme and that sort of thing. And right off the bat, I'm given a huge list of spells that do not work on the planet, because the immortals say, nah, not going to let those spells go off. Right off the bat, useless spells from the clerics. You're looking at Hold Person, doesn't work. No Alignment, Snake Charm, Speak with the Dead, Commune, Insect Plague, Quest, Raise Dead, True Sight, Aerial Servant, Create Normal Animals. I can understand that's kind of a biggie. Same with Raise Dead. I just don't. It works. I just don't hand it out willy nilly. Word of Recall, Raise Dead fully. Okay. Travel and Wish. That's kind of some big stuff there. Magic user spells. Again, spells that do not work if you're a magic user. Charm person, floating disc, ventriloquism. Okay, charm person, it's often abused, but just, noping it right out of the game. Floating disc, why? That makes no sense. Ventriloquism, same thing. That's like just a very weak spell, very rarely used except by illusionists, but yet nobody gets to use it. Detect invisible, ESP, invisibility. Okay, that blows. Clairvoyance, hold person, invisibility, 10-foot radius. Charm monster, dimension door, conjure elemental, contact other plane. Hold monster, magic jar, teleport, death spell, disintegrate, Giaz, invisible stalker, reincarnation. Charm plant, create normal monster. Lore, mass invisibility, summon object, teleport any object, create magical monsters, mass charm, travel, create any monster, gate, and wish. To be honest, the create monsters and animals is actually kind of a new one to me. I've never used spells like that, but noping out teleport, not interested in playing a magic user. Now, speaking of magic, your elf as race, as class, can't use magic. Okay, unless you have an intelligence of a whopping, I think it's 16. Then and then you can only learn magic if you go to the surface as your character. Well, I'm trying to go into the surface, trying to play Hollow World, so you're just saying, one more reason not to play an elf as class, your race as class character, but now they can't even use magic. Okay, not understanding that at all. I get it. The Immortals have put a serious kibosh on the magic, kind of similar to Ravenloft, but at least their reason was because you're in a completely different plane, cut off from the rest of the cosmos, the multiverse. But here you're just cut off from the surface, and this big, layer of, earth and stone that keeps the two realms separated is enough to just, eliminate all of that. You know me, guys. I like running magic users, and I know a lot of other folks do. The same with elves and other races. A whole bunch of skills that, I thought were in the other books, but if not, that's fine. Add the skills. That's cool. There were even some skills in there that I thought, amusing. The drinking skill, that's okay. If you want to dedicate your time to such things, I'm not going to fault you on that. I used to be a serious drinker myself. Now, another thing is, if you make up a character from one of the realms in the Hollow Earth, you will just about absolutely refuse to ever dress and arm yourself other than the way you were raised to do so, with some serious restrictions. And biases and reasons and excuses to keep you in your preferred skin suit sort of thing. Now, then it comes into the different types of characters and the cultures from which they came. The first are the Untillians, which are basically just Vikings. The picture right there says it all. That's pretty much a Viking. Okay, so the Vikings came to the Hollow World. Well, guess what? So did the Azcans, which are basically Aztecs. And each of the cultures, they give things like what they look like, the names, prefixes, and things like that, the cultural weapons and armor and dress, that sort of thing, really trying to force you into looking the same throughout what could be a 36 level campaign, as well as the languages they speak, allies and enemies, stuff that you'd want if you're gonna make up a new character. A little bit more information than some of the books gave you, especially AD&D. It didn't give you like the names and the way you dress and things like that, because it left it up to the player. Then the Beastmen, which is interesting. You know, if you want to run some sort of mutant sort of creature that's going to inevitably look pretty much like a cow, with the height and weight and strength, and then modifiers because of that. Kind of cool if you want to run a big burly, you know, Minotaur type character, allowing them to go up to well, beyond 10th level at 240,000 experience points per level. Not horrible. 2 hit point bonus, D8 for hit die. Kind of weak. I think they should be at least a D10. Then the Black Lore Elves. Is this the one? Yeah, the ones with the robot servants who don't like magic either. No shock. But no abilities to actually create, work on, or use any of the robots. Any sort of high-tech skills. They're basically just layabouts who have every one of their whims catered to by their robotic servants. Why would they ever want to go adventuring when they find out they, you know, are pretty much going to be, you know, weak as hell? Then the Brute Men, which are basically just Neanderthals, however you choose to pronounce that. Don't want to go into that. Also, topping out at 10th level and potentially a 36th level campaign. Why would you ever want to run a caveman? Then there are the elves, the gentlefolk. More layabouts, very un-elf-like in my opinion, with very little reason to run them. Then the elves of Icedale, which are more or less Swiss elves, or Christmas elves, living in the ice and snow. It's a picture of them doing some snowboarding or tobogganing or whatever you want to call it. Again, why? Then the oh god, I can't even pronounce this one. Butakans, basically jackal people, with you know, humanoids with jackal heads. A little bit on their customs, some negatives on their stats, saving throws. They get a D4 in hit dice with no ability to use magic, so what's the point? Other than to die at the very first time someone touches you with a dagger. And, oh yeah, topping out at 8th level. The Genites are a nomadic cavalrymen. Gee, I wonder if they're going to end up being anything like the Mongols. Oh, yeah, they absolutely are. The Kogalor dwarves, much like the dwarves of the outer world, very much different race in terms of cultural temperament. They live in the mountains on the north side of the equator. Here's one that really blew me away. The Krugel orcs, pig-faced orcs, bringing them back, as one should. Real orcs are pig-faced. And lo and behold, they can, you know, go up just about any level, gaining 2 hit points every level after 10th, with a D8 hit die, right around on sort of flightless birds, not quite ostriches, but okay. Then the Kubits, which are a 18-inch tall race of humanoid beings that ride around on look like badgers. The strength scores of 2d6 plus 1, and all other ability attributes 3d6. Weapons that they use. Was there a restriction on race? Not race, I mean level. I didn't see one, but right off the bat, they can choose from cleric, fighter, magic user, thief. They use the appropriate hit dice. Though they are small, they're quite tough and durable. Okay, so you're going to get potentially D10, you know, action figure characters. The Malfegi Lizardmen, other than the name being ridiculous, they can go up to 12th level, D8 hit die. Okay, that could be fun for a little while, but then you're stuck, at a third way through the rest of the humans' potential advancement. The Merry Pirates, they're actually one of my favorites here, but the name is a little too Christmassy, if you know what I'm saying. And constantly fighting amongst themselves, dressing like pirates, acting like pirates, doing pirate stuff. Cool. I can get behind that, considering there is no real limit to how high they can go. They can be cleric, fighter, magic users, and thief. So, okay, throw in some muskets, and I might give it a whirl. And then the Nithians. Basically, Egyptians in the hollow world of a planet that's not Earth. Could you be any less original? Well, the writers of this have since moved on to other projects, if they're still with us. But on the whole, what's the draw other than, maybe the cool monsters that you could fight, which I'll find out later. I haven't gotten to that part. Or maybe cool treasure. Well, it's probably not going to be magical treasure because magic is, severely limited. Now, for those of you who like the low magic settings and that sort of thing, you probably love this. Historical guys probably love this. But why not just play on Earth and a hollow world of Earth, as opposed to basically copying verbatim all of the cool ancient races that we've seen time and time again in so many world settings. Here I was hoping to get, more of a Edgar Rice Burroughs feel to it, and they decided to do anything but that. I can understand that, not wanting to copy one of the greatest writers of all time when it comes to fantasy and fiction, but I would think that you'd want to borrow a little other than the concept of the hollow world, which they did okay in the way they put it all together with some floating islands, and things like that. Some interesting sights to see, surely, but when it comes to what would draw a player into it, unless you are a huge historical guy and you want to play an Egyptian or an Aztec or a Viking, which has been done literally probably a trillion times in the history of role-playing games, why this? Why this? Aren't there other games out there? I realize this was 30 years ago, and they probably thought they were being sneaky or innovative, but all it turns out to be is lazy writing, low imagination, and more restrictions than I can shake a stick at. Personally, I'm going to read the rest of it, give it a fair shot. Maybe they'll pull it out. Maybe there's some things in the DMG book, or maybe the adventure book might give me some ideas. As you know, I am going to be running a campaign later on in the coming year that will probably, hit up the mysteries of Antarctica, but I'm sticking with an Earth game. It's actually going to be on Earth, an alternate weird World War II sort of history. Thanks, Brian. But I'm playing on a fantasy world that's not Earth, and yet I go inside the center of it and I find Earth. That's just awful. I don't know what they were thinking, and I don't know why this box set garners such a insanely high market value on places like eBay. I'm real tempted to sell it, but at the same time, I know that if trends continue at some point, in potentially the near future, it's going to be worth $1,000. So I just wait a couple of weeks, months, maybe a couple of years, and I will, make almost 10 times what I paid for it, if not more. Right now it would be like 10 times because I paid about $15 for the box set, and I really hope it's not a complete and utter disappointment, but so far I would never open this box set again after doing this review. If you guys think or feel otherwise, I'd love to hear why, other than the fact that you're a historical or low magic setting guy. Give me something else, some sort of, reason why you think this would be a great or even passable way to spend your time, other than you're rolling on a random table to see where the players end up from some sort of botched teleportation or dimension travel roll, and they end up in this absolutely waste of pages expansion set. That's my opinion. You guys disagree? I'd love to hear why. I'll be open all night, as always. I hope you guys have a great week. Christmas is right around the corner, and we're all looking forward to it, and looking forward to a great new year. So from all of us at the Shadow and Sun Show, wish you a Merry Christmas, happy reading, happy gaming, happy YouTubing, whatever it is you do is your new hobby. Let's hope it continues, it gets better, and let's hope that the new year brings us everything that we all hope and wish for within reason. And until next time, happy trails.